All right, so this is about an hour and a half, and it's on the topic of prospecting.
Practicality dictates that everyone's results will vary, as we are all unique and different. Basically, it takes hard work to make a substantial income in this business. Some people will make no money at all. The earnings of a World Global Network partner will be 100% dependent upon their skills, work effort, commitment, leadership capabilities, and also market conditions. Common sense would suggest that in most opportunities, one would find exceptional individuals performing well above average, while others perform under the average. World Global Network does not guarantee any level of income or your success. The average participant in World Global Network earns less than $500 per year. This does not account for any business expenses that one might incur while building the business. To see our full income disclosure, please visit our website at www.worldgn.com.
As I start this chapter, what we're going to talk about now is different elements of the 5-5-7 system. And the first element that we're going to talk about, we're going to do this for an hour to an hour and 15 minutes for you, is called prospecting. That's right. So in this chapter, if you're listening back there, it's going to be called prospecting. And this is where myself, Natita, Chad, even Matt and Shanita, we're going to talk about where to find the prospects. Okay? We're going to talk about how to approach the prospects, what to say. We're going to break it all down, both warm market people and cold market people. Prospecting is a huge part of you building the business. If you think that all you're going to do is prospect your warm market, which is people that you know that are in your cell phone, and then you're done, that's not a network marketing professional. That's not correct. Your warm market are the people that you know you're going to start with them first. And generally speaking, your warm market is for practice. You know, I don't know anybody that's ever gotten rich off of their warm market. Maybe Shanita, you know, because she recruited her daughter. No, but I don't know anybody that generally gets rich off of their warm market. It doesn't happen. So your warm market is for practice. Your cold market is for practice. Your cold market is that's where you're going to make your fortune. Okay. So if you don't mind, Natita, why don't you come up and join me? And again, the first part of prospecting we're going to talk about. Now, here's the part that I really love, guys. We're going to teach you guys what we do. We're not going to teach you some stuff we read in a book. We're not going to teach you some stuff we heard somebody tell it. No. We're only going to teach what we do. And I want to tell you right now that, yes, I have prospected some people on Facebook. And I know that I've recruited in this business right now well over 200 people. And the vast majority of them are not from Facebook. Okay? Nat and Shanita, have y'all recruited a bunch of people from Facebook? They're both saying no. Okay? Are there people in my organization that have recruited people from Facebook? Yes. Yes, but the vast majority of the people that I have recruited are not from Facebook. So what we're not about to teach you, we're not about to teach you how to be this prolific recruiter on Facebook. And the reason why we're not going to teach you that is we know Facebook is a monster and you can find lots of people there, but that's not how we got to where we are. So we're not going to sit up here and lie to you and teach you some stuff that we don't do. Okay, so first thing, as we talk about prospecting, let's go ahead and we've already covered mindset, so we don't need to do that anymore.
And before, as a prerequisite to mindset, can I talk about the name list? Because that's where we're going to lead into prospecting.
Go right ahead.
So as the 5 fundamentals, as my dad was sharing with you guys, the first one is your why, which we talked about, your mindset. You have to make sure you're writing down what it is that you want. First off, what do you want? When do you want to get it? And what you're willing to sacrifice to get it. Those are 3 important questions that you must write down, that you must answer. So that's your why. Make sure that, remember, this is very important, whether you have to do it today. Out of everything that you're going to do, you want to make sure that you're writing down your why, you're writing down what it is that is going to take you to the next step, okay? So the next fundamental, which is the name list. Okay, I wanted to touch base on that before we get into prospecting, because this is why you're prospecting, to increase your name list. People will always say, you know what, I ran out of my warm market. What do I do? That's the whole purpose of prospecting. But first off, name list. Understand that as you guys are building Royal Global Network, you have to figure out what is it? What's the next step? What do you do with your new prospect once you bring someone on board? The first thing that you're going to do is go through the 5 fundamentals. First, figure out what their why is. Number 2 is their name list. How many people on this name list? You want to make sure that you are having a minimum of 100. The reason why is because, as we said, this business is 90% mind power. You want to do whatever it takes to, quote unquote, trick your mind to believing, to make sure that you still continue to have that belief. So for example, if you only put 5 people on this name list and 3 of them said no to you because maybe you couldn't transfer them through, they couldn't transfer the vision, 3 said no to you, you feel like, man, more than 50% of the people said no to me. I feel like a total failure. This does not work. So again, the reason why you want 100 is because if you have 100 names list and 3 people said no, you still have 97% of your name list to attack, which at the end of the day will make your mind see more positive. Again, it's always about trying to find opportunity in every challenge to make sure that you are in that positive mind frame.
So for the people who say, look, I don't know 100 people. First of all, looking at your cell phone, there's probably 100 people. If not, just go Google memory jogger.
Yeah.
Name list, memory jogger. Just Google it, and you'll get a list. It'll say, who's the person that always makes the coffee for you in the
Your
morning?
gardener,
Your
your doctor,
post office,
your lawyer, your
so on.
teacher.
Just Google it, name list, memory jogger, and I guarantee you'll find 100 names really, really quickly.
Because at the end of the day, you want to make sure that you are not prejudging ever. Sometimes even people say, oh, this person's too successful, wouldn't want this opportunity. It's sometimes the successful people who know how to manage their time that actually see the opportunity in Royal Global Network. You never want to prejudge. And with this 100 names list, what exactly do you do to break this down? So as you're writing the 100 names down, at the right of it, you want to have five
like a point system.
One, the first checkpoint is that they're age 25 or older, okay?
Qualifiers, yeah.
Qualifiers, to qualify them. You want to make sure that they're, not to make sure, but here's their qualifier, married. I'll tell you why in a second after I give you the list. Married, have children, have a job, and the last one is own a home. Okay, the reason why you want to ask that they're 25 or older is because at this point they're reaching a moment in their life where they're like, I want to do something with my life. Other than that, before that, they just want to party, have fun. Again, there's always exceptions. You know, for me, I started when I was 18. You know, there's a lot of people who are millennials who are making it big in this industry. But again, this will give you a bigger qualifier for people who are more likely to say yes to your business. Married, the reason why married would have another tick is because now you have the ability to tap into 2 people's 100 name list. You have the ability to tap into more lists that could expand your network as well. Children is because now they have a bigger why. There's something that will make them cry. They figure out what their dream is for their kids. Their job, because now they have the finances to actually invest in this business and own a home. Again, it's also because they have more responsibility.
Yeah, because normally the home is the biggest expense that you spend. So if you have a home, it means, like Natita said, you have a mortgage most likely, you have payments you gotta meet, so you have higher responsibility. So this is the 5 things that we tell people to put a check mark next to help you, because we will all train on the norm, not exception. There's always exception to the rule, but our goal today is to teach you where you can have a success for the majority of people.
Like, I was not 25, I was not married, and I had children, I did not have a job, and I didn't own a home. So I was a complete exception to this. However, when you do this checklist, you will have higher probability of success when you call the people with all the checkpoints first.
And can I add a couple things
Yeah.
here? One thing I'd like to add to this is very profound. First of all, this is your warm market, which she's talking about. We want you to really understand this. This is your warm market. Another reason for these checks right here is these people, 25 and older, married with children, with a job, they typically, to be honest with you, they're in a money crunch. They're in a money. These people need more money, and more time freedom. They do, so they're more receptive to what you want to prospect them and what you want. They want a better way. Okay, so that's a big thing. The other thing I want to point out to you is that this is the warm market. Okay, but again, we know that some of you have not gone through your whole warm market, and we also know that some of you have gone through your whole warm market. But once you're done with the warm market, you're going to go to the cold market, which means people you don't know. But I want you to catch this. The only reason you're going to go prospect people in the cold market is to get back into their warm market, which comes back to this list again. So there's a little thing that I always say, you go warm. I mean, you start warm, you then go cold to come back to warm. So you start warm, you go cold to come back to warm. So when you're doing the business the proper way, if I were to prospect Chad in the cold market as someone I didn't know, my goal is now to get Chad to do this so that we could go tell the story of WGN to his warm market. And then if we were to go recruit Natita, which was Chad's friend, we want to get her to do this so that we could go tell the story to her warm market. So everything, I just want you to imagine, if you built a list of 100 people, okay? And if you had 10 people build a list of 100, that's 1,000 people. What if you had 20 people build a list of 100? Do you see how you'll never run out of people to talk to? Okay?
So let me do it. Oh, go ahead.
So I just wanted to say one thing, okay? So talking about warm market and cold market, this is how I feel, okay? I say still you will work 90% your warm market, 10% your cold. And just like Ramasi said, your purpose of your warm market is to turn your cold into warm. Mm-hmm. So like warm market, this is how I say it. Like warm market is sometimes your warm market. They're going to be the ones who are against you, don't believe you, blah, blah, blah. And that's what you're going to have to push against. That's why it's important to have your why, important to have a positive mindset to push through this war market sometimes. Again, how we see it is to make sure that you're getting this cold market to switch them now to your warm market. The reason why is because anytime someone makes a decision, it's based off of,
yes.
It's based off of a concept called trust and respect. Anytime a decision is made, and a decision that's going towards the direction that you want them to make a decision on, let me switch this over.
Okay.
Okay, any single time a decision is made. Okay, so let's say that this is your prospects. Okay, these are your prospects. Okay, and this is the expert. And this is you. Okay? Your prospects will always have respect for the expert. They don't trust them, but they respect them. In terms of you, because they know you, because you built that relationship, they trust you, but they don't respect you. So that's why it's important to always introduce an expert. When you're just working with just the cold market themselves with no expert or anything, or you're not building a relationship, there's never going to be trust, and there might be respect, but there's no trust. But for a decision to be made in your direction, it always has to have trust and respect. So that's why we're going to get into prospecting on how we could expand that name list, and at the end of the day, build a relationship with them in order to turn them to warm so they feel comfortable enough with you to give you their 100 names list. Because when we build our business, we always build it with the full mindset that whoever you bring on board, they're going to be your present millionaire, but they're going to quit within the next 24 to 48 hours.
So I want to give you, go ahead.
Meaning you want to get to their name list ASAP, because if not, that name list is gone. So you want to be able to dig deep. That's why it's important that the 557 system focuses on the why and the name list immediately. So what do you do when you bring someone first on board, I don't want you to just think of 557 system, I'm not memorizing. You use it and actually take action in it, meaning name list with your new prospect. I mean, your why and then the name list.
So guys, I want to give you a visualization of what Romasio said earlier. You know, one of the things, you know, all of us want to know, how do we never run out of prospects? This is how you can visualize it. So, for example, everybody has to do the name list. So here's a good visualization I'll show you. So this is you, and every dot represents people you know. Let's say this is 100 people here that you know, 100 people in your name list. Here's a visualization of what you're trying to do. As you follow the system, you might introduce this person to the business right here, this person right here, and guess what? He has his name list of 100 people as well. You might introduce this person here. This person here has the name list of 100 people as well. And this person here, you might introduce, have a name list of their 100 person. As you follow the system, what's going to happen is you're going to expand your network. As each people within that 100, you might get, you know, a percentage of them to say yes. And that's how you can build a large organization in this business, by following the system. So it starts off with you, and as you build and follow a system, you go into the other network, Walmart, co-market, that becomes your Walmart as you get to know them and grow.
Right. Absolutely.
I mean, we could get into prospecting now. Yes. How to.
Yes. So we're in the prospecting chapter. Okay. So we can't see y'all, but I'm hoping y'all going like this. Okay, I get it. Yes. I hope y'all going. Yes, I understand why the list. Okay, so now what we're about to do, before we get into what we say, let's talk about where are some other places that we find prospects. And the reason I want to go here, you see, because I resigned from my previous network marketing company to do World Global Network December 1st of 2016. And I had to sign a contract with my other company that said I could not recruit anybody from that other company for 3 years. So I had to start all over again from scratch to go find people. And so I want to show you guys where do we go to find people, okay? So for me, and we'll just kind of go through each one. For me, you know, people, my mindset, everything comes back to mindset. Everything starts with mindset. So for me, people are like dust. They're everywhere. So what I did, because I'm kind of like her, I'm very simple. I can't be stressed. I cannot be, and for me, when things get too technical and I got to remember this, I got to remember all that, it stresses me out. I can't do it that way. I'm a very simple man. It's got to be simple. So in my mind, people are like dust. They're everywhere. So there's no limitation to where I'm going to find people. What does that mean? That means I can find people offline, grocery store, Uber drivers, you know, just, I'm going to get into that in a minute, but anywhere. But I can also find people online as well. So for me, my mentality was I need to go prospect, and prospecting simply means collecting a decision. Write that down. The only goal in prospecting is you got two goals. One, to create a connection, and two, collect a decision. Write that down. You have two goals as far as I'm concerned in prospecting. Create a connection, collect a decision. Create a connection, collect a decision. And so that was it. So for me, when I was starting to build my business, our formula is to go prospect 5 a day. That's the minimum. I didn't do the minimum. I was broke. I had to change that. So I went out personally and I prospected about 65 to 70 people a day the first couple of weeks. But what was my goal? I was just there to collect a decision. Okay, we're going to get into what I said in a moment. I'm going to get into that in just a second. I want you to know, well, where did I go to find these people? Guys, of course, I built the names list. That's where I start first. Number 2, what did I do? I literally, on social media, I would just start asking people, are they open? Okay, we're going to get into what I said in a second. Number 3, anywhere I went, I would prospect. Now, I want you to catch this. Never go out to prospect people. Just prospect people while you're out. Never go out with a bullseye on your head like, oh, I got another one. I got one. Don't do that. Just prospect while you're out. Remember, people are like dust. They are literally everywhere. You're going to see them everywhere, okay? And so literally at the grocery store, there's people. There's people when you're walking your dog, people at church. And so yes, I would make myself be out more because I'm in a recruiting mode. I'm in a hunting mode. I'm in a prospecting mode. So every business needs people. Every business. You need people. And so literally here it is. I'm trying to build something. I've got to go connect with some people. Got to do it. But there's no limitation. And so if you don't mind, Natita Chad, where are some other places besides the names list, personal names list, that you found people?
Yeah. I mean, just like you said, one thing that my mom taught me from the very beginning is don't go out to prospect as you go.
Yeah.
So it's literally everywhere, just like you mentioned. I don't think there's something that is on top of that because everywhere is everywhere, right? But one thing that we do, like understand, before, as I was an amateur in this business, I was like, I need these name cards. I need these name cards, these things that says I am WGN, and let me pass out as many name cards as possible. Amateur, right?
Amateur.
I'm telling you, the professional knows that you want to get their number. It's not about how many cards you give out. It's about how many numbers that you bring in. So even for myself and Chad, when we go out, one method, like our goal is to get someone's number, right? To connect and to get their number. I can connect with them later. I just want their number so I have an opportunity to connect with them, to switch them, to become warm with me, right? So one thing that myself and Chad do is when we're out prospecting, Chad will explain like how we're looking for that one person. But once we look for that one person, we see this person who's sharp, who's dressed sharp, who talks fast, who walks fast, and we will always look at them and give them a compliment. So like, let's say, and assume that they are higher ranking than they are. So
well, before we go into what we say, I just want to keep going.
Yeah.
Like for example, one of the things I know that I do, personally, I prefer to recruit nothing but business-minded people.
Mm-hmm.
So anybody who's a business owner, I'm deliberately targeting them, deliberately, because they're more, always remember, they're more open. Remember, successful people never became successful by being closed-minded. Mm-hmm. So they're more open. Believe it or not, successful people are easier to talk to than unsuccessful people. They're just so much more easier. And so even though you may be nervous, one of the things I would do sometimes, I'd curl up my toes in my shoes and I would squeeze my butt cheeks. It's just something that I would do because I wasn't going to let the nervousness stop me from getting my dream. I wasn't going to let that stop me. But you can't, we make it look easy now, but yeah, sometimes you do get nervous. You do. What are they going to say? What do they think of my outfit? Oh my God, am I too tall, too fat, too white, too black, whatever. But you can't let that be the reason not to do it. You see what I'm saying? See, on the other side of that door, when you do go prospect that person, you don't know who they know. Always remember, every person you prospect is a database that leads you into other parts of the world, right? So again, I would go after business-minded people all the time. One of the things I would do is I literally, sometimes I would just crack open, because I came from real estate. So I love to target real estate agents. I love to target just any type of white-collar professional. Doesn't really matter what it is, but those people, and also people that had a lot of influence. And before we get into what we said, I'm just trying to make sure I scratch my brain here and give you all the, and there's one more place. I'll give you a few more places. You know what, guys, go to meetup.com, see what you're interested in. Like Natita said, if you're interested in chess, go find a local chess group, go play chess, and find the smartest person in that room that does that. If you like to play golf, go join a golf group or golf club, see who is the smartest, sharpest person in that group. One of the things that Natita and I are very good at is called asking one simple question and another word called digging. And I'll tell you what that means. So one of the things we love to do is that everyone, we meet the sharpest person in the room when we prospect someone or where we go to meet up group. We always want to connect with them. Connection is a key. That's something we'll talk about later. But once you connect with them, share with them the opportunity. If they say no, no means not now. And here's a key word that personally helped us is this simple line. Well, who do you know that you think will be great at this? Not just who do you know. Who do you know that you think will be great at this? They said, well, I know a guy called, Andrew. All right, fantastic. The easiest thing to prospect here is when you call someone else and use a third party to say how you connected with them. So I'll call Romacio and say, hey, Romacio. Okay, and sorry, Andrew, this is Andrew now. Andrew, guess what? I just spoke to your buddy Ben,
and he told me you were an amazing. So when I talked to Andrew and said that I got the number from Ben, someone he knew, it is very easy for him to open up to listen. I'll tell you what we say. We'll tell you what we say a bit later, but it's because of that trust and respect triangle. So now we go through Andrew. Whether he says yes, that's fantastic. But if he says no, then you ask, well, who do you know? And you can go down the line, person after person. We had a great example where we had to ask maybe 3 people, who do you know? The one person saw it and said, wow, this is fantastic. And here's the rule of thumb. When some person said yes, always go back to a person who brought him in and said, you're right, he said yes or she said yes, but because you introduced me to that person, you have the first right to refuse if you want to be that sponsor person. But we'll go into that a little bit later. But the key to prospecting is, maybe it's hard enough to talk to someone, but when you talk to someone, find a way to open up their network by just asking a simple question. Well, who do you know that you think will be good at it? So through going to meet up, we're putting ourselves in position to meet people and asking the right questions. That's how we kept on expanding our network.
So meetup groups is a big one.
Yeah.
Another one is no matter what city or country you live in, I don't know if they have the yellow pages or white pages, or you can look online for business owners. Just Google it or look it up. All the business owners, trust me. What do they call? They usually call the Chamber of Commerce. Chamber of Commerce. You know, you want, just find a way.
Go to personal development stuff too. Like that's how we built our network in the beginning. Like going to trainings of John Hopkins, Tony Robbins, etc. Because those people have the same mindset that you want, that, and they're in that space to be open.
So I hope you're writing that. We're just giving you brainstorms of all the places that we go.
So like even if you're a mom, go to Mommy and Me group. You want to do what you're good at, so because your passion will shine through. So you want to attract other people who are passionate like you in the things that you're good at. So Chad's good at golf, he would do a golfing club, etc. But I also believe in, if you want apples, you don't go to an orange farm. You know, like if you want someone who's open to networking, go to a networking event, build connections there. You want to be able to get the right fruit from the right farm, basically.
Right. The thing that I also want to say is that I agree with what she just said, but the way that I saw World Global Network is we're technology.
Yeah.
And again, this is going to kind of slide back into mindset, but it gave me, and I guess we'll teach this later. See, in anything that I do, I always look for an angle. I look for an angle because 90% of success is strategy. And so in my mind, I want to make sure that when I go to prospect a person, that I put the angle or the odds in my favor. So because we're in technology, my brain says everybody's open to technology because they use it every day. And if I were to have gone to them and asked them about Apple or Fitbit or Uber or Amazon or whatever, everybody would have said, absolutely, I would have gotten involved, whether they were a network marketer or a regular person. We all would have said yes to that. So in my mind, what I want to do is I want to put myself, in other words, prospecting people that have the greatest potential to grow and expand my organization. So this is called, I try and prospect up. Many people make the crucial mistake that the first people they want to talk to, they want to prospect down. What does this mean? Here's what it means. I want to give you a personal challenge. Prospect the greedy people, not the needy people. Prospect the greedy ones. How do we define greedy? Successful people, and it's just a joke, but get the point. Don't get all, what does he mean by it? Just understand.
I'm not greedy.
When we say greedy, it's people that literally they're successful and they want more success. Always remember, success brings more success, okay? Don't just go after the people that are needy. In other words, oh man, he needs an opportunity. She needs an opportunity. See, stop recruiting down. I want you to prospect up. When you prospect up, you're working more efficiently and you're giving yourself a greater chance of your organization exploding faster because you're bringing sharper people to the conversation, or you're recruiting sharper people that can really, if they were to think like this, if I were to recruit Bob, and if Bob was to really engage in this, what are the chances of what he could do in the organization? He may not do it, but what are the chances if, capital IF, if he were to engage? That's the mentality that I like to have while going out collecting my decisions. And so therefore, I choose to target business-minded people, white-collar professionals, networkers if I come across them or whatnot, But the bottom line, guys, is meetup groups. Everybody, everywhere you
prospect up.
So I want to speak to a segment, a portion of people out there who may say like, well, I don't have the confidence like Romasio or like Nat and Shanita or like Chad and Atita. Well, guess what, guys? I never always had this confidence. Here's another angle, or here's another way that you can recruit up. Well, first of all, that those 5 points, to get 5 points, that gives you most likely people with 5 points are someone that you believe might be at a higher financial level than you or experience level. This is one thing I've done and I still do. I go to people on my chicken list. Chicken list is anyone that you want to call, oh, I'm scared to call them. That's your chicken list. Normally those people have maybe more money than you or better status or whatever it is. And I always just say, hey, Bob or Mr. Smith or Mrs. Smith, you are so successful in the business you do. I want to be like you. Can you please help me with a project or a business opportunity? Please tell me what you think. So you don't always have to come from a strong hand. You can come from below and say, hey, can you help me? Tell me what you think of this. And I've had a friend who was a lawnmower, a gardener, and he mows people's lawn. And one of the lawns he was mowing was a multi-million-dollar gentleman, and just said, look, I don't want to be a lawnmower all my life. Can you help me and give me advice on an opportunity? And the lawnmower guy, the owner of the house, said, sure. And guess what? He went and said, I want to do this. And he signed up under the lawnmower. Why? Because he brought the person in. So you don't always have to have the strong hand. You can always come and say, hey, give me advice.
Okay, so I'm hoping by now you guys get the point that people are literally everywhere, okay? Now what we're going to do, we're still under the prospecting chapter, but what we're going to do now is we're going to transition into what we say. And here's how I'd like to break it up. How about you and Chad, you guys cover what you say to the warm market people, the people that are on the names list, and then I'll cover what I say in prospecting to cold market people that we don't know, and we'll go back and forth like that.
The number one rule when you speak to the warm market is be yourself. Very important. Very important.
Not a script that you're
You
like,
know,
I have to learn this, and you sound awkward.
Like if I was going to call my brother, I'll be like, hello, brother. It's Chad here. I would like to call you about an opportunity. No.
It's just like, give me your credit card. Like you're missing out. Like literally, that's
bro,
it.
you got it. This is it.
That's it.
Come over now. Like you got to be normal. I would say up the energy level a couple of notches so you're excited because it's true. And with the warm market, always just be yourself because they know you, right? So when they know something's up, they know something's up, but it has to be a good up, right?
I remember the first time that not that I got introduced, but that I made a decision to do this industry. I called my best friend and I literally followed a script and I just sounded so awkward. And she said no. And I felt like I'm going to kill myself. This is wrong. Like I'm such a failure. I remember crying to my mom and saying, this doesn't work. Even my best friend said no. And then my mom was asking me like if I was myself. Did I transfer the enthusiasm or was I transferring the information? And I realized it wasn't. Understand again, it's mindset even when you're talking to your warm market. You have like the lifesaver, right? And your friend or your loved one, your warm market is drowning. Are you gonna just throw it to them and say, oh, catch it, please? You know, like, no, you're gonna throw it and say, get that darn lifesaver. It's gonna save your life, period. There's no question. If you know you have a cure to a disease, are you just gonna sit there and like, maybe try it out? You know, so give it to them with that wholehearted belief. So with your warm market, just like Chad said, talk as if like how you are, be normal, so that they don't feel like something's off.
So with your warm market, you also know what they want. You know the life they're going through right now. So for example, the hot buttons. For example, you might know some people who's getting married. You might know some people that just lost their car and they want a new car. So certain things you can say to warm market is, hey, Bill, I noticed you just lost your car. Why haven't you got a new one? Learn to ask the right questions because every time when you ask the right questions, guys, you'll find a hot button, a hot topic that is something that they want, but they can't get right now, most likely because of a financial situation. And when you connect an opportunity to get what they want quicker with what you have, that's why they'll come listen to you with an open ear. So the key is not to talk a lot, but to ask the right question. Friends might be getting married, say, hey, Sally, are you going to have your dream wedding in 18 months? She goes, not really. And you go, why not? I just don't have the money. Well, I tell you what, I have something for you right now that in 18 months, if you work hard and focus, you can get the wedding of your dreams. Guess what? Now I've touched a hot button. She wants to have her wedding of her dreams. She's going to look at World GN as a means to an end to get her dream wedding. So everyone's different. With warm market, you know what people want. And when you connect their want with the ability to get that sooner rather than later, that's when they're going to open up with all ears.
Something popped in my head when you talked about talking to your best friend and they said no. And when you said about talking to people and you don't have the confidence, one of the things that you want to remember, guys, is you want to detach yourself from the result. Remember, your goal is to create a connection and simply collect a decision about, like, we're going to tell you what we say in a minute. And the purpose of is basically finding out if they're open. Do they want to learn more? Blah, 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 basically. We're going to get into what we say in a second. But you got mentally, you want to tell yourself, you don't care whether they say yes or no. And I think many of you have heard this before. You know, some will say yes, some will say no. So what? Next. Okay? So just get SW, next is what we call it. Some will, some won't. So what next? So, and the purpose of prospecting is you're sifting and you're sorting. And if I could just, this is one point I wish so many people, because one of the things people don't believe, and I wish you would believe, is it's not, building a network is not easy. Okay, it's not easy. But it is simple. But it's not easy. Let me say why it's not easy. The only part, or the biggest part, that makes it not easy is you can't control what people are going to do. Some people will tell you they're going to do it, don't do it. They're going to call you back, never hear from you. That's the part that's not easy, is dealing with the roller coaster ride of people's emotions. Okay, that's the part that's not the easy part, because you do need people to build it. But the mechanics of how to build it is very simple. It's extremely simple. It's very simple. And so if you can just in your mind understand that you're sifting and sorting through these people, your warm market and your cold market, you're sifting and sorting. See, amateurs, they like to sell and convince. They want to go to Natita, their friend that they went to school. Girl, I found something. Your name is on this. You need to do it. I know you can kill it. And what are you doing? You're selling her. And that's what turns people off, because the same time you're doing that to her, she's thinking subconsciously, if she was to do this business, that's what she would have to do to her friends. And the problem with that, that makes her feel uncomfortable. She doesn't see herself that way. I don't want to do it. So professionals, what we do is we sift and sort. What's the difference? The difference is when I'm prospecting her, I'll ask her a question. Don't worry. We're going to get into the question in a moment. And all I care about is her answer, yes or no. And if she says no, I'm done. The conversation's over for me. I like to respect people's space. I don't want to be the guy that barges in. That's too aggressive. That's too assertive. You know what I mean? And so just remember, you're sifting and sorting. And if you go through enough people, trust me, believe it or not, more people are going to say yes towards being open than you could ever imagine. So I just wanted to point out, detach yourself from the outcome of what they say, whether they say yes or no. Don't let your emotions get caught up in it to make you feel like you're a failure, like you were too short, or maybe you had ugly shoes on. No. You don't know what you don't know. And a lot of times, maybe it's a bad day for them. Maybe they're just not in the mood. Maybe the timing is just flat out bad. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
so again,
you don't want to be emotionally attached to it. Like how we think about it is like, if someone at McDonald's or whatever, do you want to supersize it, or do you want fries on the side? You say no. Okay, next. You know, it's not like, oh my God, they said no. Like, this doesn't work. You know, like that's what we end up doing in network marketing. We end up being so down on ourselves because someone says no. When I learned to fully detach myself, to fully not be emotionally attached to their rejection, that's when it was easier to say next. Like even when I talk to Chad now, when we talk about business ventures and etc., I always say, Chad, I need to hurry up and fail. Like we always say that. One thing that clicked for me is like, for you to succeed quicker, you need to double your failure rate.
that's right.
You need to quicken your failure rate.
Yeah.
Right? Like I never thought I would say to Chad, like, hurry up, let's fail. Let's just fail quickly. Like, because you know that you're learning through the failure, you know you're learning through the rejection. So even for myself and Chad, when we prospect, like it's prospect to get their phone numbers for us to invite later on. Are we gonna go into your questions?
So we're getting ready to do it right now. I'm gonna have them prospect me. I'm gonna be your warm market. So let's first of all start.
I'm talking about cold market to get their phone number.
So you want to do cold first, or you want to do warm?
Cold just to get their phone number. It's not to get a decision about world or the opportunity. It's just to get their phone number. For me, it's like my mentality is because understand, like, I grew up in Thailand, moved to the United States, knew no one. Chad was in.
So we're starting with cold market first, then we'll do warm market. Okay.
Yes. So my thing with prospecting the cold market is just to get their phone number, and then we'll get into how we invite them for the opportunity later. Mm-hmm. So do you want to do?
Go ahead. Well, he started talking about warm market first, though. He started talking about.
Okay, you go then.
Because remember, you said people be yourself, and then now we're going.
So yeah, I mean, with warm market, just learn how to ask the correct questions, right? I gave you some example of people getting married or friends, or some things I say to myself, friends is, hey, do you want to make more money? That's it. I mean, just be direct with friends. Hey, are you open to make a couple thousand extra a week? If they say yes, guess what? Then they know they're coming to look at something. Be truthful, be open. Don't say, hey, let's go out for dinner, and then you take them a presentation. Always be open and be direct. And this, I'll say to my friends, look, you want to make more money? This is friends. You can't say this to a random guy you meet at McDonald's. Hey, do you want to make more money? It'll be like, it'll be awkward, right? So, hey, are you open to making more money? Are you married to your job? I mean, there's some things that as you ask more questions, you can listen. Like, you know, I know we're still talking about warm market, but I was at the gas station and the guy was going, man, prices are going up. And that's a spark for me to listen to him saying that, man, these prices are affecting him financially. It's not affecting other people financially. So that's opening doors. So by listening and asking the right questions with your warm market is very simple. So a warm market phone call could be very simple. I'll call up Bob, Romacio, Mas. I'll call him up, Mas, I found it. Come over my house tonight, right now. I'm going to show you this opportunity that I found that's perfect for us. Because of our friendship, our relationship, most likely they'll be like, what is it? I want to know. I said, Mas, I can't tell you on the phone. Based on our friendship, come over tonight. You're not going to be disappointed. Keep it short. Don't sell the opportunity over the phone. That's one of the biggest mistakes, because if I try to sell it over the phone, it might take an hour. It might take 2 hours. But guess what? He still needs to come over and see it. So if I just get his decision, I said, Mas, based on our relationship, our friendship, come over tonight. I know you're an entrepreneur, found a business. Come over tonight. In 60 seconds or less, I'll hang up the phone with him and go on to the next person. I'm not here to sell it over the phone, which a lot of amateurs make that mistake because they're so excited. You need to know how to slow down to speed up. So in doing it in a couple minutes, in 1 hour, I can call a whole bunch of people instead of just speaking to one person in 1 hour. So,
guys, remember I told you my background was, mortgage, real estate, cold calling, all this type of stuff. So I'm going to be honest with you. I'm extremely good at recruiting. I virtually can recruit whoever I want, whenever I want, okay? And I say that for this purpose. I'm going to teach you one word, because we're going to tell you what we say, and it works. It does. But if I can get you to understand just one concept, just one, I promise you, you're going to make a lot of money, and you're going to make it fast. Here we go. So we're talking about warm market prospecting. The goal of prospecting, I told you, is to create a connection and collect a decision. So obviously your goal is to collect a decision, right? And a decision basically means a yes or no that they're open. Now, in terms of we're getting into what we say, there's one main thing that you want to do. And if you do this, you'll win every time. Always remember, C-U-R, how you spell curiosity? I-O-U-S-T-Y. I-T-Y.
Spelling for me and Romacio wasn't our number one subject, was it?
Yeah. We're not good at spelling, but it's good to say we are rich versus, no, we is rich versus we are poor. So this is the goal. Guys, get this, write this down right now. So we're talking about what to say. Always remember, curiosity is what compels people. Curiosity. So the point is this: most amateurs want to throw up and say everything to their prospect, their warm market. Do not do that. What you want to do, notice Chad said, be yourself. Hey, listen, are you open to making money? You know, what I say to people, my warm market, when it comes to making money, are you married to your job or do you keep your options open? One more time. When it comes to, if I call, hey, Chad, what's going on, man? How you doing? You got a minute? Yeah. Listen, quick question, man. Listen, when it comes to making money, are you married to that business you got going on? Or do you keep your options open towards making money?
Always keep it open.
He says he's open. So right there, I've collected a decision. Now let me show you what I do if he says no. Hey, Chad, once again, hey, Chad, listen, when it comes to making money, are you married to your business or do you keep your options open?
I'm married to my business.
You're married?
All right.
He said he's married to it. No problem. He's married. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. Me personally, this is what I do. This is how I've done it. I'm done. I do not want to barge in, be obnoxious, be offensive. The man said he's married. He's not open, so I'm done. That's how I do it. So again,
but I'll add to that, guys. No to me means not now.
That's right. That's
no means not now. I'll just say, hey, well, who do you know right now who's not married, job, and open opportunities? I asked that question to get into the next network. Why? Because he could be in the middle of a fight with his husband, with his wife, or the wife in the middle of a fight with her husband. So Romaggio might have called at the wrong time, right? So no means not now. Gives me a name or two. Go call that person, come back and say, you know what? Maybe now is a better time because that person you told me is interested and you told me about him. And a lot of the times people will be like, you know what? I was in the middle of dinner. I was in the middle of that. Because realistically, who's going to say no to an opportunity, right? If they really said no, guess what? You probably don't want them in business anyway. So very important. No means not now.
So Chad, what he does, if he hears a no, no problem. Who do you know that's not married to their job? See, I love that question. He's trying to keep the conversation alive. Maybe it might be dead with them, but he's looking for the next person that it might be open with. Okay, so it still works. The point I'm trying to make here, this is all I want you to get, because too many people, they try and, okay, well, Chad, what did you say exactly? And I want to say, see, people don't buy your words, they buy your melody. So what Chad says will work for Chad because he has a relationship with his warm market. They know him in that vein. They know him in that vibration. So he can say that thing. But if you say the same thing that Chad says, it may not work for you and Carla because y'all relationship is different. The point I just want to get across to you is this. Curiosity. That's what's going to compel them. And in my mind, when I say to you, hey, listen, are you married to your job or do you keep your options open? Most people always say, yes, I'm open because they're curious about what it is, how much money we're talking. They're curious. I want you to get this. This is a psychology piece that makes people say, I do want to see what's going on. What am I trying to teach you? If you tell them everything, there's no point in for them watching a presentation. So you can't do that. You just want to keep it simple, short, and sweet with the warm market. And honestly, I say that to this moment. Are you married to your job or your business, or do you keep your options open? That's all I do because I'm just looking to collect a decision. You see how simple we're keeping that? I promise you it'll work in Africa. It'll work in Spain. It'll work in Nairobi. It'll work in Germany. It works all around the world because either they're open or they're not. And if they're not, who do you know that is open? Very simple.
And, I want to add to this. For people who are networkers or have done this and, been to different companies and you're calling the same people and, oh, what do you have now? What do you have now? So one of our good friends, Mr. Jeremy Roma, he knows us in the industry. So if I call him to prospect him, like, are you married to your job? Guess what? He knows he knows the questions, right? But we use curiosity to get him at the table because all I said is, this is what I used back then, might not, and I'll tell you what I'll use now. Back then I said, hey, Roma, hey, Jeremy, there is an emerging market that's going to do over $1.3 billion, and we have the #1 product in it. Are you open? That emerging market, meaning that it's a brand new market with nobody involved in it, make Jeremy goes, what is that? Well, today, my language has changed. So there's an emerging market that's going to do over $1 trillion, and we're the only player in the game that has this game change. Guess what? People are going to open up and say, what is this? Curiosity is very important. Just don't go show all your cards when you get on a phone.
Notice again, he said something different. Again, but it still had the element of curiosity. I hope no one gets offended when I say this. Prospecting is kind of like dating. Okay, you cannot say the same exact thing to every single woman. When you're looking for your wife, you can't do it. Okay, you can't say the exact same thing to every single person. So notice he used that for dealing with a network marketer, Jeremy Roma, but he still is prospecting within the structure of how you do it, while making it curious, short and sweet, and an element of curiosity, so that Jeremy can be like, yeah, I'm open. I want to see more. What's the step 2? We're going to talk about that in a minute. So for right now, we've covered warm market prospecting. We've covered where to find the people, and we've now equally covered what we say to our warm market. So now what we're going to do, we're still under prospecting. We're now going to go to the cold market of what we say. And I'll start it off, okay? Cold market. Let's erase the deal here. All I'm going to keep this, because the goal is still the same, to collect a decision. Now I'm in the cold market, okay? So there's no relationship with these people, okay? So now in the cold market, remember you got two goals. You want to create a connection. This one is huge. Huge, okay? Huge. You want to create a connection. And I know what you're thinking. How do I create a connection with all these people, Romacio, that I don't even know? How do you do that? Okay? I'm going to give you the easiest way to do it, okay? Is by always starting with a compliment first. Always. A sincere, genuine compliment. Man, I love that jacket you're wearing. That is so cool. Is that custom? Is that custom? Or
yeah, my wife designed it.
Man, that is sharp. It's kind of like a dressy jacket, but also kind of casual, kind of in between. I like you too. You look good too, man. Oh, thank you, man. Every dog has a day, So my point is, I always will start, always. This goes back to what our global master distributor, Shanita, talked about. Remember the book called Pushing Up People? Remember that? Who's it by? Was it Art Williams? Pushing Up People. See, I want you to develop a mindset that every person you come in contact with, every person you see, I want you to see something positive about that person. Seriously, it's not a game, it's real. Because if you're going to be giving a genuine compliment to people, you've got to be able to see the brighter side of things. You can't always see the darker side of things, okay? And I do this, we're talking cold market now. We're talking with people you don't know, okay? A genuine compliment, it begins to subside their guard. They put their guard down a little bit. So always start with a genuine compliment to help create a connection. That's the first thing that I do. The other thing, the other tool that I use in the cold market is the good old-fashioned, we'll write it over here, tool called Form. And I'll let Chad go through this. Form, F-O-R-M. Okay?
So FORM stands for family, occupation, recreation, motivation, or money, right? And this is a good way when you want to talk to someone. In the industry, we say we want to form someone. In asking questions to open up conversations, in opening up conversation, we get to know this cold market person to become warm faster. So all we got to do is, like, for example, I could be at the park, right? At a park with my kid. Romacio is there with his kids, and I'll be like, we could be standing watching our kids playing, and I say, give him a compliment. Man, your kid is handsome. Guess what? When you say to another parent that their kid looks handsome or she looks beautiful, guess what is going to happen? They're going to open up. They're going to feel good inside. Always let your prospect feel good inside first, because when they feel good inside, they're more likely to open up and have that connection with you. So in giving that compliment, man, you know, how old's your daughter? How old's your kid? When you talk about kids, make sure you can kind of also justify that you have kids too. So for example, hey, you know what? I see our kids, they love to play together. Your kid's handsome, man. You know, the reason why I want to say that, because I don't want him to think that I'm a creepy guy just looking about his kid, right? And the same thing to do with a man and a woman. I don't go up to a lady and say, wow, you're beautiful, because my whole intention is, Natita will kill me, but my whole intention is to give a correct compliment, right? The correct compliment, if I saw another lady who I believe could be a very good person to prospect, I'll be like, man, that handbag is gorgeous. I would love to get something like that for my wife. Where do you think I can get a handbag like that for my wife? So I bring my wife into the picture straight away, so she don't think that I'm here for the wrong reason, but I'm here to build that connection or find out about that. So that's form: family, occupation, recreation, motivation.
Now, the purpose of form, so that you understand the purpose of the tool, it is a digging tool for you to decide if you want to prospect.
Sorry, guys. I will find it.
Heard what I said? It's a digging tool designed for you to decide. If you don't like him or her, you don't have to get to the money part or the message part. You don't. Okay? So remember, you start with a compliment, and then it so let me give you an actual example, live example. And again, I'll use Natita, or I'll use Chad here. So let's go back to the jacket. Man, that's a really cool jacket, man. Wow, you look sharp in that thing.
Thanks.
Is that something that you made or something you bought off the rack?
Yeah, my wife designed it.
Man, she must be one heck of a designer. You look good in that thing, man. That's
thanks, man.
Really, really cool, man. If you don't mind me, did she design it? Is that here in California, or did you get it from someplace else?
No, she designed it here. She designed it here.
Man, you look sharp, man. I would, if you don't mind, I would love to. If you don't mind, I'd love to know where she designed it at. You wouldn't mind if I kind of.
Oh, sure.
Okay, yeah. Good. Listen, you from around here?
Just a couple miles away. Yeah.
Cool. So now, guys, I'm going slow. I'm on the F. F stands for where you from or family. Okay, so you from LA?
Yes.
Born and raised?
No, I just moved here from Australia maybe about 5-6 years ago.
Oh, so you just got here?
Yeah.
From the down under?
That's right.
Wow, is there a huge difference in LA versus Australia? Or I've never been to Australia.
Absolutely. First, you don't have meat pies that I miss a lot, which is, is a pie with meat inside called meat pie, right?
Meat pie, got it.
But, the people are friendly here. One thing I did notice is it's cheaper to live in LA compared to Australia, which is crazy. I didn't think that.
Nice. The other thing, while actually doing form, you're supposed to shut up and let them do all the talking. I'm just asking questions. Remember, you want to be interested versus interesting. Mm-hmm. Be interested, not interesting. Okay, so he's telling me about he likes these meat pies from Australia, and so that's one of the biggest differences that you miss.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I just obviously miss family and friends that I grew up with. But you know what? I love Los Angeles. I don't think there's any place like this in the world.
Can I ask you a question about Australia?
Yeah, sure.
I've never been, but I have a lot of friends that are from there. And I've heard that in Australia, they like to drink a lot and they like to fight in terms of, I guess, the athletes and the guys. Is that true?
You know what? In Australia, we have a very good sporting culture. I mean, from a young age, kids are primed to be great athletes. I mean, there's only about 23 million people there. But if you look at Olympics, you look at a world sporting scene, they do pretty well for such a small country.
Wow.
Yes. Wow. I mean, the population of Australia is like California.
Wow. Well, I appreciate that. So now I'm about to transition. So what brings you to California? If you don't mind me asking, I always assume everyone owns a business and let them tell me that they don't. So what brings you to California, man? If you don't mind me saying, you look like you own some type of business. What type of occupation are you involved in?
My wife and I, we own a bunch of hair salons. That's why my hair looks so good.
You're in the hair salon business?
Yeah, yes.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
Wow. Awesome. So
yes.
Hair salons now, is that
absolutely?
Is that do you do black people or am I excluded?
Oh, it's only for females. Females.
Oh, only for females.
Yes.
Okay, hair salon, not haircut, but hair salon. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Awesome. So how long have you been? Now, he's now told me what occupation he's in. Okay. There's only two things I'm going to do now underneath the O. I want to know, tell me, what do you like best, number one, about being in the hair salon business? What do you like best about it?
You know, you make your own time because we're business owners,
Mm.
right? Even though we do make our own time, you know, it does take a lot of time. But what I like best is that, you know, we get the ability to decide kind of daily what we want to do to a certain extent.
But you said it takes a lot of time from you?
Yes, it does as well.
Got it. Yeah. So you like the freedom of being able to decide, create your own day.
Absolutely.
And the second question, tell me, what do you like least about what you do? What do you like least about being in the hair salon business?
You know, just we have about, 60 staff that we have to pay every single month. So I guess the payroll aspect of it every month, that's kind of stressing because, we need to make sure that we can provide for the 60 families that we have working for us.
So as he's talking, you're supposed to be listening, not thinking about what your next comeback line is going to be, but listening. He just told me what he likes most and what he likes least. Here's the point of the O. If you listen clearly, people will tell you everything you need to know to prospect them appropriately. If you listen clearly, they will tell you, if you listen, everything you need to know to prospect them appropriately. Okay, so now I'm going to move from the O to the R, which is recreation. Why am I moving from the O to the R? Because he was down. If you look at his shoulders, oh yeah, I'm stressed out about the payroll, okay? Okay, so now I'm about to pick him back up by going to the R. So basically, you like being able to create your own day, but you don't really like the actual payroll aspect of how much that is costing you every month to run these businesses. Yes, I get it. I understand. That makes good sense. Well, tell me, man, being here in LA, what they call the city of angels,
Mm-hmm.
and in your 5 years you've been here, what do you enjoy most? What do you like to do for fun out here?
I like to golf. I really.
You're a golfer.
Yeah, I'm a golfer.
Wow.
How about yourself? You golf?
I mean, I'm kind of, I practice. I'm not really a golfer.
I thought I saw you in a college scene.
Yeah, that wasn't really me.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I'm not really that good. I dabble around a little bit. But yourself, you've been playing golf for a while?
My dad's a golfer, so he taught me what he knew. So, he gave me club when I was young. So, yeah.
Wow, so you're one of those scratch golfers.
I used to, but now with the salon business, I don't really get back onto the course at all.
But you like doing it?
I love it. Just don't have the time.
I get it, man. Here in LA, that's the second time he talked about he didn't have the time. Here in LA, I hear that he got some really, really nice golf courses. Have you checked out any?
You know what? I just been to a couple, but because my mindset is where it used to be when I used to play golf, but my body is not anymore. So it's kind of thing I got to commit to it, and I don't have the time to commit to it right now.
Got it. Just don't have it. I get it. Hey, well, listen. Now, here's the home run. Okay, I went through the F, I went through the O, and I went through the R. So far, I like how I'm feeling about this gentleman. Okay, I like everything. We're in sync. You know what I mean? There's some synchronicity here. I like how I'm feeling. So mentally, I've decided, yes, I'm going to go ahead and prospect him now. Okay, I've created the connection. I'm now going to go ahead and prospect him. Watch how I do it. I'm now going to the M, to the message. I never go to the message until I'm about to go. The reason why, I want to leave on a note of curiosity in his mind. The reason why I want to leave on a note of curiosity in his mind. So never, ever do I, in the cold market, prospect someone and stand there so that they can fire hose me with question after question after question, which is covered in the presentation. So watch what I do. Listen, Chad, I've got to get running here, but I really have enjoyed just, connecting with you. Just in the short time we've talked, I learned some pretty cool stuff about you. Listen, would you mind if I ask you a question?
Sure.
Look, first of all, I want to say I can't make any promises, okay? This is just in the course of our dialogue. This may be a good fit. It may not. I don't know. But I heard you say that you like the fact that you get to create your own day within your salon business, the freedom.
Yeah.
But you don't like the payroll and how much of a strain on your time it's taken from you. Did I hear that right?
That's correct.
Let me ask you a question. When it comes to making money, are you solely married to the salon business, or do you keep your options open to other opportunities that don't strain your time?
I mean, I'm an entrepreneur, so I'm always open, yes.
Listen, I've got to get running here. What's a good contact number that I can get from you? And when I, get back to the office or whatever, no promises, I can give you a call, share some information with you, and see if it's a good fit. What's a good number?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
And I immediately, this is what I do. I either pull out my cell phone and act as if he's about to give me the number. So I'm looking down. So I'm no longer looking at his eye. I'm immediately looking down at the phone as I ask that question. In other words, fully expecting for what I asked for, the number, because he told me it's open. He gave me the number. Hey, listen, man, it was so nice to meet you. What's generally for you, a good time to reconnect with these mornings, evenings? What's usually good for you?
Evenings is better for me.
Okay, I'll catch up with you in the next couple of days, all right?
Thanks. Nice meeting.
Nice meeting you, man. Take care,
All right.
buddy. And that's it. I don't set an official appointment. We just met, so I don't try and set an appointment. Okay, I'm gonna call you Tuesday at 7. You're gonna be at, wait a minute. We just met. He just told me evening, so I now have his number. Boom. I now know. Make a little notes to myself, and boom, I go back and I actually go finish collect. But I've already collected the decision. He's already told me he was open. Now, I know what you want to know. What do I say next? Here's what I say next. Ring, ring. Hello, Chad.
Hey, Romacio.
Hey, it's me, Romacio. We met the other day. We was talking about your coat.
Yeah. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Listen, I told you I'd circle back with you. You got a quick moment, or is it now a bad time?
You know what? I got a couple minutes right now. What's up?
Listen, the other day you told me that you were open to other opportunities as long as it didn't put a strain on your time?
Yep.
Chad, when you said that, were you curious or were you serious?
I mean, serious.
Okay. Listen, let me ask you something. Knowing, and this is what I say, knowing what it is that you know today about the Apple. You ever heard of Apple?
Yes.
You heard of Fitbit?
The fruit? Oh, okay.
Apple Watch.
Oh, okay, yes. I heard of the watch.
Or what about, you've also heard of Fitbit?
Yes.
What about Uber?
Uber, yes.
You heard of it. Knowing what you know today with those companies and how successful they become, if you could go back in time and you could have been one of the first people to get involved ground floor with those technology companies, and you could have gotten a small percentage off of every device that gotten sold, knowing what you know today, would that have been a decision that you would have made?
Oh, absolutely.
Listen, my partners and I, we have got our hands on what we believe to be the next Apple, Fitbit, Uber on steroids. Again, I can't get into all the details now, but being that you said that you would be open, listen, what I want to do is I want to set a time where I can get you in front of a presentation that will fully explain everything. I'm looking at my calendar here. Today is what's today? Tuesday. Tomorrow evening, are you available in the evening time?
Yeah.
Okay. What time would work better for you? Either 6 or 8?
You know what? 8 is when the kids go to sleep, so 6 probably better.
Okay. 6 o'clock tomorrow. Why don't we do this? 6 o'clock tomorrow. I'm going to be giving a presentation, and it's on a Zoom. Are you familiar with how to use a Zoom? It's on a computer where you can see and hear me. It just makes it convenient.
No, but I'm sure it's pretty easy.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll call you at like 5:45, walk you through how to get on the Zoom.
Okay.
So at 6 o'clock, I can show you the information that I'm talking about, and then we can kind of go from there. Does that sound good?
Cool.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's pause. Because I don't want to go too fast for you. I originally started with giving the man a compliment about his jacket. I then took him through form. He said he was open. I followed up with him. I gave you my value proposition question. It's the Apple Watch Fitbit question that I just said. He said absolutely. I then immediately set an appointment for him to see a presentation immediately. And he said he can actually, 6 o'clock on tomorrow. And now we're going to be doing a presentation. Okay, we're not going to get into how we do the that's next. But right now, we just wanted to cover with you exactly how I prospect in the warm market, how I prospect in the cold market, and I slid in there how I follow up. So, Chad, your turn. as far as cold market, what do you do?
I want to add a little bit to what Romacio is doing. It's very similar, our techniques in how we prospect cold markets, extremely similar. I'll give you some personal things I do that helps me in doing cold market. One of the compliments that I still get to this day is people like, wow, you remembered I have 2 kids. Oh, wow, you remembered I like golf. Because this is what I do. When I prospect someone like, let's say Romacio, in the questions he responds to me, I said, like, what do you like to do for fun?
And what I like to do?
Yeah.
I like to what I like to do for fun. I like to go to the gym.
So in my head, I'm going gym, gym, gym. Like I'm saying in my head nonstop, gym, gym, gym. Like this in my head, so that I remember that he's a gym guy. So in every question I ask, that I'll pick particular words that I'll say to myself in my head. Then when he's done, and when we get the phone number, and I'll give you a tip about phone number, I literally go to the notes section of phone number and I write Jim, smart dresser, met at cost, wherever it is. I'll put down details and I'll say it to myself again. That is the second or third time within that conversation, and I'm refocusing in my memory information about this gentleman. Then I'll set in my time to give him a call the next day at 6. Then before I call him, I'm going to look at my notes again and say, gym guy, smart dresser, met at Costco. If he talks about his kids, whatever I'm going to talk about. As soon as I call him back, I will refresh some stuff. Let's say, remember example I gave you earlier about meeting at a park, and he told me his son's name was Jason, for example, right? So I said, hey, Jason in bed yet? Because he told me, remember, I'm just playing myself, that the kids go to bed at 8, right? So he said, oh, Jason's about to go to bed. I want to reconnect the connection and also let him know that I was listening to what he was saying yesterday. So in terms of prospecting, it's very similar. In terms of giving the compliments is super important to open up that person, giving that compliment, getting a point, but getting their phone number for a further appointment is not, I could be at the park. He's not going to give me a presentation. Giving the correct time and space to do what you need will respect each other and give you a better, more home runs as you do the business. But one of the things that I want to share with you is how I give phone numbers. And I'm going to use Romacio as an example. When he came to me and he gave me that proposition, I said, yes, absolutely. From talking face to face with that person and they give you the yes, as soon as they say yes, what I do is I turn to their side, literally, I open my phone and I open the text message page, right? And I look at him literally sideways. I tilt the phone to the side. I want him to look at my phone, and he already said to me, well, what's the number that he can get from me so that we can connect? So literally it's reverse, right? I'll turn to him and I'll open the text message and I'll say, look, I'm just putting my name. I'm going to send this to you so we can connect tomorrow. So I'll write my name on the bottom text and I'll press the phone number. So Romacio, what's the best number I can send this text to you?
916.
100% of the time, I always get the phone number because he see my text and he knows that I'm calling him to talk about what we talked about before, and I'm just standing and be quiet. And their phone number will roll out of their lips every single time because he knows the premise of me getting their phone number. And what I do next is I'll send it to him and say, hey, Romacio, I just sent it to you. Can you just double check that you got it?
Yeah. I see here. I got it. Yep.
So now I want reconfirmation that that's his real number. If they say to me, oh, I don't have my phone, come on, how many people do you know in this world that don't have their phone, right? So this is just to reconfirm that he got a phone number. I said, all right, thank you, Romacio, and off we go. But everything Romacio said is more or less what the T and I do. Obviously, there's different variants. We're not here to be a parrot, but the compliment, the form, because based on the results of what they say helps us. But getting the phone numbers, the same thing, setting the time to meet up and go through the information correctly is very important.
So give me an example. Come on over here. This is one of the camera crew guys that's here helping. Chase, right? Mm-hmm. Hey, Chase, listen, I'm going to show you guys right now, and this is obviously he knows exactly what I'm doing, but I just want to show you this is exactly what I do. Now, remember moments ago I told you I'm completely detached from whatever he says. My job is the collective decision. Okay. So obviously, Chase, listen, you guys have been doing a phenomenal job putting together our first live stream. It's actually been going great. You okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, this has been great, man. My mic, they trust me. They can hear mine. Trust me. They can hear me. Can trust me. So let me ask you a question. How long have you been working for this company?
First day.
This is your first day working for this company?
I'm a freelance.
Oh, you're a freelancer. Where are you from?
Pittsburgh.
Pennsylvania?
Mhm.
Wow. Are you a Steelers fan?
No.
You're not.
Just hockey.
Oh, so you're in the hockey. I dig it. I dig it. Pittsburgh, is that where you grew up? Your family, married? What?
Yeah. Just got engaged.
Awesome. So you've been here your whole life?
Yep.
Awesome. Cool. Cool. You like it out there?
Yeah, it's great.
What about the snow, man? How do you handle that?
You get used to
You get used to it. It gets really cold out there. Interesting that you're not involved in sports, but that's cool. So tell me, man, what made you get into, what occupation are you involved in?
Sound.
Sound. So do you own a large sound company or you just work for this?
No, it's my company.
So this is your company. So you the boss. You the head honcho.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it. Let me ask you something, man. Listen, when it comes to making money, are you solely married to this business or do you keep your options open?
Pretty married to this business. I have a lot of money invested in it.
No problem. I can definitely respect that.
Yeah.
Listen, let me ask you another question. So he told me he was married, okay? So I'm done. I got one other question. Who do you know? Do you know anyone that maybe is not married to their job or business and may be open to making some serious extra money?
Sure, yeah. Everyone I know are freelancers.
So you know a whole bunch of freelancers. Fantastic. Thank you so much. I'll get those numbers from you and I'll give them a call. Again, I'm just showing you right here live, guys, exactly how I prospect. This is the first time I've ever met you, right?
Yeah.
So we never met before. And it's the same process that we do. Listen, we got to change my mic. So while we're doing that, why don't we bring up Natita, and what about Shanita? Just show them one time what you do when you prospect. She's busy right now, but we'll bring up Natita. We'll bring up Natita real quick. Natita's just going to show you how she prospects in the cold market as well.
I mean, it's exactly what Chad does. It's exactly what Ramasio says. We always go, we give a compliment. For me, it's like I said, for me, I get very nervous talking to people, right? When I first started this, I was always like afraid to get rejected, et cetera, et cetera. So we're a woman of few words sometimes. And then, so it's like, we would just give them, like we would find the sharpest person there, like the person who we think is going to be the superstar. We would compliment them, like just like Ramasio used to always say, so are you the owner here? Knowing that most likely they might not be, or you're just always assuming up, right? No, I'm not. I was like, really? So do you keep your business options open then? Yes. Most of the people say yes. They say, then you need to give me your number.
Yeah.
You look down, you get their phone number. That's it. Clean, pure, and simple. To that point, again, the goal of prospecting is just to get their phone number so that you can continue to build on that warm market relationship in order to invite them to see the presentation later on. And as we're going to talk about the invitation in a little bit, it's always about, remember, the purpose of invitation is just purely to invite, not to give a presentation over the phone, not to go over all the information, just to get them to finally come and watch the full-on presentation versus throwing all the information out at one go.
You know, one time we met a gentleman at a farmer's market. We just had a farmer's market, and we went through this. Man, he was selling a juice, right? Just juice, and the compliment, man, this is the best juice I've ever had, man. Congratulations, compliment. Hey, are you the owner of this company? And he goes, oh, no, I just work for my mom. I said, wow, really? I mean, I said to him, I was very intrigued because, hold on, let me tell you, when you meet certain people, you kind of sometimes know that there's a spot behind them. So when I gave this guy a compliment and he told me, and I assumed that he was a high position, saying, hey, are you the owner? He told me no. And one of the things I said to him next directly is, do you keep your business options open, right? And he said to me, I always do.
Absolutely.
And I always like to give a disclosure. I said, look, I have something that I think that you'll be very good at, but I don't know. It might not be the correct fit for you. But I tell you what, like you said you're open. Now is not a good time because I'm here with my wife on the farmer's market. What is the best number I can send you my details at so that I can share this with you? And I just literally take the phone side and I write in the text, hey, this is Chad. I met with you at the farmer's market, and I write it there. And I look to him and say, okay, what's the best number? And I just keep quiet. And then he'll send a number. I'll text him back and say, hey, you got it? He got it. That's another connection. That's another number that we got. So interesting enough, that gentleman that we met, we connected. We're still friends to this day. But he is extremely successful in a network marketing venture, made a lot of money. But we first bumped into each other at a farmer's market, and he was doing juice. Just this regular like orange juice, right? So you can find people anywhere. We didn't go there to look for him. We went there because we want to go to farmer's market, and that's another connection we created. So
guys, what we're gonna do now is we've got started at 9:30, and we're gonna go ahead and take a 1 hour. Well, first of all, as we close this chapter up, I want to make sure I feel that we did a great job talking about. This was the chapter on prospecting. We covered where to find the people. We covered what to say to the people in the warm market and the cold market. And I think that we did an excellent job. Do you feel that there's anything that we missed?
The only thing is that when you're getting these lists of the name list or whatever from your cold market, just like Chad mentioned, always write down like what they wore, the things that stood out to you. Because if you call them months from now, or even a year from now, I called someone 5 years later. And I said like, oh my goodness, I can't, like I just stumbled upon your number. I can't believe I didn't call you earlier. I still remember 5 years ago when I met you at the sushi restaurant and you had this daughter named blah, blah, blah. And she's shocked, like, how do you know this? Lo and behold, she didn't know that I wrote everything down. And so that will automatically connect you with someone. So no means not now. Always write an information down on what you got from your cold market, because you don't know when you're going to tap into it again.
What's it saying? People don't care how much you
know until they know how much you care.
So how do you care about people? By knowing about them.
And
so
the little details.
The little details. So like Natita said, I would write in a note section the day I met the person, where I met the person, any
like
significant things to write.
So
like when we call it, you're right. Yeah. When I call the guy back, hey, this is Chad. I met you at farmer's market. Hey, man, that orange juice was the best orange juice I drank in the world. And that was the second time we met. Then we met him again. Then he went from doing juice. He opened a Hawaiian chicken barbecue. So we went to meet him there, right? So he's an entrepreneur. So anyway, we keep on writing it down. That's some little tips that we do all the time to write down notes about that person. Yeah, is there anything else?
Listen, the most important thing you can do in building your network marketing business is prospecting. Listen, it's amazing to know that between the three of us, and the whole organization, but from the three of us down over the last 18 months, we've built a network of over 100,000 plus people all around the world. And the principles that we're teaching you today are exactly how we do it. In other words, we're not teaching you something that we don't do. Like if you were to be a fly on the wall in their home, this is how they prospect. This is what I do. This is so it works. It's not, this is it. You don't have to look elsewhere. This is how we do it. And so.
Sorry. One other thing that I do want to add is dress for success. This also goes into even Facebook. Okay. Like even though we said we're not going to talk about Facebook, I don't necessarily prospect on Facebook. It's more of attraction marketing. Like
wait, I want people to hear you say that. You don't really prospect.
I don't prospect on Facebook, but what we do on Facebook is we attract other people to us, meaning you have the ability to build your image and your confidence online, which is into like people, even if you prospect someone on the street, they're going to search you on Facebook. They will, right? So you want to have a profile photo or something that basically encompasses what the image that you want to give off. Because Facebook is an opportunity for you to create your image to the world. And so that's how we use Facebook, for example, to be able to have that as attraction marketing.
Yeah, I want $7.8 million you've made since being in World's Gym, and you don't prospect on Facebook.
Nope.
So why do I emphasize that? Because we don't want you to believe that, oh, I have to prospect on Facebook. You don't. The three of us, I'm sure there have been people that have come to you through Facebook because of her profile, because of the success, because of things she's doing. And the same for me. But you don't have to. I want to set that straight. We did not get to where we are by depending solely on Facebook.
Absolutely.
Okay, I just want you to know that.
Because you don't want to hide behind a screen. You're like, if you hide behind a screen, you're not learning a skill set. The skill set.
Say that again, please.
If you're hiding behind a screen, you're not learning the skill sets necessary to become a professional in this industry. And our goal is to allow you guys to grow, to become a coach. Just like my dad was saying, you find a coach, become the coach, and then create a coach. And the only way that you're going to be able to do that is if you're actually practicing what you're preaching, going out to get rejected, so you learn how to be stronger, because it's the survival of the fittest, right? Especially in WGN, because we're doing something that's never been done before, going through challenges that have never been done before. So you have to have a thick skin, whether you like it or not. You have to have a thick skin. And as I didn't even touch on this, but in order to be successful, especially in this space, in technology, in WGN, in WGN 2.0, you have to have the mentality of flexibility. That's something that's going to take you to the next level, because the company is learning as they're growing. We as leaders are learning as we're growing. We're not perfect. Nothing will be perfect here. Nothing will be perfect in the company, but we are flexible to learn and mold into what we are going to create, which is going to be the biggest movement in history.
So I want to add quickly before we have a break, another part about prospecting people and being prospected. One of the things that will help is dressing for success. And I'll give you an example. I remember going to Staples a couple of years ago, and when I was in Staples, I wasn't really dressed for success, but that's very important. I was dressed well, but not for success. But I found a older lady that came in with a power suit. The way she walked was upright. She walked fast. She talked fast. And I said to myself, man, this is a leader. She is a leader. And I wanted to prospect her, but the truth is I walked out and I was scared, and I went into my car. And everything goes back to the first step of the 557 system. Like Natita said, if the first button is wrong, then the whole shirt's off. So I went back to my car, and literally I started driving, and in my vision in front of me, I just didn't just see the road, but my why was going through my head about financial security, about Natita being with her, being able to give her everything she wants, about the future. My why kept on flooding into my head. Why? Because I had a dream board, and and you know what I did? I didn't realize. I turned back around, I parked the car, I went into Staples again, and it's so funny. As soon as I walked into Staples, she was standing right in front of me, right? I think God put her in front of me. And I literally used the format, talked to her. I cut it short and sharp. I just said, ma'am, you look like a very successful entrepreneur that I believe I have something that's perfect for you, right? And she was like, wow, fantastic. Right now, I'm actually rushing out. What is the best number I can get you at so I can send you some? And I literally just stood next to her. She gave it to me because I came in with confidence, because my why was just right in my head. And she just felt it, I guess. And she just gave me the phone number, connected with her. She came over to the house, and Natita and I met her, and we went through a presentation and built another connection there, because she dressed for success. Now, that could be reversed. Dress for success is very important. And you can be attracting and be attracted.
You will have, for one, more confidence. Like even for me, when I started, I was 18. And the goal is you go through your name list, 25 or older. I couldn't have the confidence to talk to someone that was a baby boomer if I looked like a teenager that I was. I wanted to make sure that I had the confidence to go out and speak to this person. Unfortunately, in this world, people are going to assume how you are because of the way you dress, unfortunately, right? You only have one shot to make a great first impression. Mm-hmm. So even for me, ideally how I love to dress, you ask Chad, I love wearing his t-shirts and sweats. That's what I wear all day, every day. We're home, whatever, right? But when we're going out, it's I'm always on point because I'm prospecting as I go, and I want to have the higher probability of success possible. Yeah. So it's important that even my son likes to say, he says, you should dress how you want to be addressed. So in terms of prospecting, I think that's very huge to go out and to be the best version of you.
Wow, this is only the second topic. Right, guys? This is years and years of just trial and error. What you just learned in the last couple of hours, generally speaking, will take people years to learn, right?
Guys, I am sweating because we are literally pouring out from our hearts so that you guys can truly have some serious meat on these bones that you can take and apply right now.